Without 211, our car died about 2 days after showing up at the shelter. So we would have made it 2 more days and we would have been sleeping on the street. And there was still a foot of snow on the ground. So without 211, I would have froze to death. I mean, let's just be blunt.
We're giving attention to a population that a lot of people feel like doesn't exist, and we're able to house them and give them a second chance at life.
A lot of people, they don't know the situation, like what came about to how I ended up in this situation, you know what I mean? They just assume that I prefer not to have a place or not to work, you know what I mean?
Well, the situation with food in the community is getting greater by the minute. People that never actually seek help are doing that now. People that used to help us with donations are coming to our pantry.
Working with United Way has allowed us to take what needs we have and to allow it to go to a greater audience that we would not be able to have ourselves.
I have one specific lady that comes in every single week and asks me for feminine products, and I've never been able to give her some until this summer, and she cried when I gave it to her.
We are experiencing large number of wonderful people that are in need.
You know, the economy over the last 2.5 years has really faltered, and as the economy has faltered, inflation has gone up, we are seeing just record numbers of people who can't afford basic needs. They got to make a decision between paying for electricity, getting food, making sure they do activities with their children, and there's just not enough money to go around.
I've seen in my own work that clients sliding into homelessness can mean all kinds of other negative things. For example, losing custody of children in family cases because they don't have a stable living situation. So that's why it's so important that we get them the housing and eviction prevention services earlier on so they don't become homeless and don't have to argue to a judge that they should have custody even though they're living in a shelter.
It's really fun. Like, they teach you a lot of mindfulness stuff. I really like it.
We're fortunate enough that United Way comes and supports us on different community cleanup days over at the Y, the Day of Caring, as well as coming into our preschool programs and reading to our little ones, which is great.
Thousands and thousands of families and children and adults are served every year. Without the United Way, we would be lost because the needs of Waterbury and Greater Waterbury constantly change. We have to reprioritize when there's a new arising need, and the United Way is always at the center of that.
We have been in dire need of volunteers to roll up their sleeves and get down and dirty with us. And that's what's happening today, and great things are coming from it.
It's very, very important that we try to remove as many barriers as possible. One of the best ways to address the overdose epidemic is to ensure that people have seamless access to care. So what this funding does, it removes one of those potential barriers, which is the cost of treatment.
I'm in 4th grade, and I'm in Wilkins Summer Studies, and we did a food drive, and it feels good to donate cans and goods to people who don't have a lot of that stuff, and it just makes my heart feel bigger, and it makes it get really happy and joyful knowing that other people will be able to eat that food and knowing that they'll be able to have good foods and that they'll be okay.